All right, John, can people unmute if they need to?
Good question. Okay, now they can.
All right, and so who begins?
Well, it's Monica.
All right.
Hi, beautiful Tara.
Yes.
That the beautiful Tara will be here in this earthly world. It's an honor to speak with you. Fascination, the words that you use, it's really brightening as a sun. So my question is, on my higher self, my connectivity, my believing, my interpretation. Um, I am I have I been able to creating, manifesting, being a mathematician. Um, I'm able to. I mean, I know I have, but not but. I guess I stopped right here my sentence, so you can advise me or anything I said. Just trying to create. I'm
Yes.
believing.
So what we're understanding is, has your relationship with your higher self evolved to such a degree that you are exhibiting more and more of who you truly are? And we would say yes, absolutely. And especially the more that you request your higher self to participate in creating your reality, in co-creating with you that which you are experiencing, you you will see the difference. You do know the difference when you are doing so, and you will see more magnificent changes occurring as a result as you open to more love. Not any kind of love, but unconditional love. As you allow yourself to know that you are loved, deeply loved by higher self, by soul, by spirit, but God and Goddess also. It changes you. It allows you to be at peace. And from that place of peace, to be centered and balanced in dominion, to choose what you want to explore, what you want to create. There are no limits to what you can create. Does that help?
Yes, I love this last sentence. Everything that you said is very beautiful, wordly. Um, just as the future grows, safety and um, apologize for saying the money. Um, I guess that and I have to eat well, and I hope that the planet contributes to give beautiful fruit. And I hope that people slow down with they going crazy constructing like more money, and towards the end, the answer to someone and will not be going to a pretty picture. I know that for sure. So my question is, um, has the Antarctica broke, and hopefully that it doesn't break all of it. So I'm just wishing for a change in the world.
Yes. So that yes, there is chaos at work. There are old structures breaking down, but there are also new ones emerging. And your imagination of what is needed, what is important, what is relevant, as you dream the dream of, yeah, I want everyone to have access to creating a life they love, to having more of the stuff of reality with harm to none. As you allow your image of what is abundance, what is prosperity, what's important about being those having that within your reality and being a success at whatever you choose to pursue as your career or your vocation, as you allow yourself to create, to become aware of what images are of the consensus, meaning it is just a fact. This is how things are. And then to open to new levels of imagination that are from your optimal future self, to allow new imagery to come in, that which you, in the form of your desires, in the form of what you want to see happen in the world, without regard for, we would say, there's going to always be a tendency, let's fix what's wrong. Okay, so there's this thing in the world that needs to be changed. Important information. However, as a mapmaker magician, you don't change by pushing against. It's important to align with the resonance of what you want to become. So when you stand in your optimal future self, who has made the change, who exists in a different reality, who has created it with elegance, with ease, with harm to none. What's different about that you? What's important about becoming that you? This out here is all for you. Hard to believe when it is painful or violent or chaotic, but they are all expressions of what's possible, and there's a range of possibility at work at any given time. And so as you notice what you don't want, but don't stay there, instead decide what you do want instead, with harm to none, without regard for what's so right now. It's very difficult to do, and yet it is important to attempt it, to build imagination. It's important to reach for images that don't yet exist, that are only in imagination at this point. It is the way that you create, that you shape reality, is through your desire, through your imagination, through your expectation. And so it's important to do that work. Does that make sense?
It is beautiful, Tara. I just have one quick thing that it's bothering me, and I'm creating thinking about is I was helping a cat trying to get it home. I might have kept it. I have my cat. It's been with me for 4 years, but this one was a different cat because I saw that cats wanted to fight it, and he never did anything. And now I cannot locate him, and I am heartbroken. And I'm going back to the area, calling him, and I hope he didn't die or he was taken. I'm wishing to find him. I keep calling him. Maybe he's scared. So just asking anything on that. I am creating, thinking I will find him. I'm going to find it. I'm going to find him.
Yes. So cats do have a will of their own. It is true. But as you invite the cat to come, to return, and to acknowledge that the cat has choice, it makes it easier for the reality to occur. It's not always, as you turn it over to the higher self of the cat as well, the diva of the cats will participate in your creation. It is the love that you feel that is important. It is the love that is eternal. And so as you certainly so look and call and invite the cat to return, but also be aware that the cat has its own reality and has its own journey. You are a stepping stone on that journey. Allow that to also be a part of the grace that it is to have a being be a part of your life. Does that help?
This is beautiful. From the wording, yes, you said to me he's alive.
Oh, certainly so.
Oh, I always try to help as much as I can, rescue, and it's been beautiful. People should. It's an honor that the Creator gave us pets. There's some beautiful pets here on this earth plane. Tara, I'm sure you've seen one small, medium, large. People should, that's a healing. It's fun.
It
But
is.
anyway, you're right. It's fun. Thank you very much for that for humans. I wish they all can have pets and enjoy them more. Anyway, it's been an honor speaking with you. Uh,
Love
Thank
you.
you for the beautiful words and your love.
Yes, we love you so. You're
Thank
right.
you, Tara.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And so, who is next?
What?
It's beautiful. Thank you, Tara. I have to internet.
Hi, Tara.
Yes, dear one. Where do we begin?
Um, so, oh my gosh. Well, it's funny. It's even hard for me to start this. Um, I gave it a lot of thought since we spoke at the workshop about what could I be in fear about. And I never really understood. I've had some very, very big successes in my life. And I've always been unbelievably betrayed. I think for all of them. And I don't know why I never saw it. Um, the, so I don't have a fear, I don't think, of being visible. I don't mind standing up, like, even at the synagogue and giving a speech. But so I helped my parents found the Hope Fund. We brought Palestinian refugees to the US for 4 year scholarship, undergraduate scholarships. And I helped them found it, but then I ran it for 3 years. I ran it after my parents had created the model that was very successful, but they were too old to expand it. But the model was so strong that they had built that in the first 6 months, I doubled the number of scholarships. The next year, I grew it by 50%. I still grew it even larger the following year. So in 3 years, I raised $7 million in cash and scholarships. And I got all these awards, like nationally, it was one of the most important Palestinian nonprofits. And one employee, one of my board members, and my mother all tried to take me down and take it away from me. And my mother was the successful one. She went to the chairman of the board and the board and lied about me and got me fired and took it over and ran it into the ground because she can't fundraise, to where it had to be taken over by our largest partner. And then there was a bunch of us in the mid 90s that basically invented what is now called impact investing. It's an entire industry that allows financial institutions, pension systems to invest in poor communities. And we were the first in the country to create the financial instruments to get regulatory authority approval to do this. And my partner, the bigger, the more he's 30 years older than I was, the more important partner, not more important, but just the bigger partner. Our largest client took us over after a few years, and then they were having by that time, Al was in his, and by that time, I really thought of Al as like a father figure. So he was like 55 and I was like 25. And our largest client took us over, and we were too small to be able to kind of say yes or no. And and then like about 6 months after they took us over, they were downsizing like 10% of their staff. And they included me in the downsizing. And he didn't really fight, I don't think, to keep me on board. I think he was just worried about keeping his own job when he was in his mid-50s. And even so, like maybe, let's say 5 years later, but I don't really remember. We were so far ahead of everybody else. The Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago had a huge award dinner for what we created, and he didn't tell me about it. So only he went without me. And he only told me about the dinner later. And I love Al. Um and like when I was in Saudi Arabia, I launched a scholarship program. I got it up and running in like 3 months, and I launched it. And the Saudi woman that I was working with got me fired for not allowing her to be abusive to vendors. And I just told her, no, she can't abuse them. And I did all the work, which is very typical when you're working with the Saudis. And I just am heartbroken. I mean, like, I've done a lot to heal this stuff, but and I just don't think I can. I just have never been able to manage these people. When I'm successful, they just always outmaneuver me. And I mean, there's a part of me I see very clearly I won't have a problem. I don't feel like I have a confidence problem in launching the movie, but I just, when I create something wonderful, I just, I can't seem to, I don't see, I don't even see this coming. Like my closest friend said to me with the Hope Fund, he said to me, "You've got a problem and these people are coming after you." And I couldn't see it. And then once I kind of understood what he was talking about, I was unable to manage, but I never ever thought my mother would go to the board. Like I saw like this friend of mine was like, "You've got a problem with your board member and this employee." But it never occurred to me that my own mother would lie. And the day that when she went to the board, like I saw her right after she had gone to the chairman of the board, and then the next day when she successfully got me fired, I think that's the happiest day I've ever seen her ever in her life, was that day.
And so, in that moment, what did you know to be true? What was the belief that was revealed?
I just don't even know. I've done so much healing on it.
Yes, you have. And yet, for you to create it differently, you would have to end that pattern. And what would be important about ending the pattern where you have a success and it's taken away from you, or you're made irrelevant? What would be important to create differently? And what would it see? The temptation is always going to be to vindicate the past, to have a success, to show them, I'll show you who I am. Then you'll have to love me, or you'll have to respect me. Does that make sense?
I mean, I guess I just don't think my mother ever loved me. I mean, I just don't even, I don't understand how you could do that to your kid. Or Al, I just don't understand. Like, why couldn't Al just have me? Even, I mean, there's a part of me that gets he was 55 years old and worried that he wouldn't have a career. You know, like when you're in finance, that's a really tricky time. But why not invite me? Like, why not let me know about the celebration banquet?
And what did you decide it meant?
I think Al just his need to be validated is like insatiable. And I think Al genuinely loves me, unlike my mother.
So you can already hear that you have healed so very much, that you are open to the love that is there. So the behaviors had impact on you. What did you make it mean about yourself, their behaviors, that then either helped you create something new or set you back? Which way does the story go?
I mean, with the hope fund, I needed to move on, and I wasn't willing to leave on my own. Uh, and both like with the hope with the finance stuff, my ability to grow professionally with Al was over, and my career catapulted once I left. It was time, I guess with both of them, it was time for me to leave. Um, but could you explain why my mother did what she did?
No. You've already decided what it means. It means that she doesn't love you. We're not saying that that's 100% true, but it is the meaning that your child created. You came in with that, didn't you?
Yes.
So in as you take back your power to author a new story, okay, that was the story that I came in with. It helped me heal many, many things in myself. It helped me know how important love is to me. It helped me understand that behavior isn't a guarantee of love. It's not what love is. In the chauvinism, you were never going to be the most loved. And that was painful because your brother was always going to be the first. Some of you have that, where you had a sibling that outshone you. Didn't matter what you did, didn't matter how great you are. Not everybody had that contrast. Showed up in different ways. But with the chauvinism, the feminine always got denied, and the masculine had to perform a certain way. Both of them are traps. So as you recognize that you didn't have to conform to the chauvinism because you were not born a boy. On the other hand, because you were not born a boy, it was that much harder to succeed. You had to work much harder. And even then, it was always the person in a position of authority who took away what you gave, what you created. So as you let that in, oh, I have a script that says I create something amazing that should guarantee me the best life ever from here on out. All the love, all the miracles, all the wealth, everything. I should be getting everything because I created something of huge value to others. Except I have a script that says it will be taken from me by someone else in authority, which implies that you were not the authority. You were a creator, but not an authority. And that is common in the chauvinism, that there's the creator. Well, there's always somebody who's going to take that creation and then bring it out to the world or take credit for it. There are many examples of that in your consensus, aren't there?
Yes.
That the creator just works for wages. That is changing. That is evolving. Every so often you get some individual, some unique individual who says, wait a minute, that's not right. I should own this creation. I should benefit and have and take charge of how it is shared with the world. So as you really let in that your world has changed in your favor, that it is different now, but that you played out that script of I create something amazing and someone else takes it from me. And do I want to perpetuate that pattern? So as you processed your experiences, each time you came to the conclusion, well, it was time for me to go anyway. I don't know why I was resisting, but I didn't want to go. But I knew I should go, but I didn't want to go. So there's that push-pull. Out of it, your higher self and your soul catapulted you into something new. Ended what was, created something brand new. Now, could it have been done with more elegance and ease? It can be now, but maybe not for who you were then. Because if you had an attachment that you should belong or you should be loved because you created this thing, that was going to guarantee something, you don't yet know that you're worth loving, do you? In that scenario, you don't yet really stand in your authority. But now, who you have become is that person, is getting to really claim and own your worth. I have worth that is given. I don't need to go earn it. If I create something, I can create it because it's a joy to create. It's a joy to share my creation. And I can be the authority and I can choose to gather that information that allows me to continue to be the authority over my creation. So you have a lot of examples in your past of what went wrong, what could go wrong. Now you want to look for examples of where it went right, where the creator retained their autonomy and their authority. And then how did they structure that? Perhaps at a legal level or as a business arrangement or whatever. There's as you move into making agreements with people, use examples of people you admire who retain their authority. Does that help?
Yes.
Because there's this fear from the past that says it's just going to happen all over again. I'm not going to see it coming, and I'm going to be devastated. No, you're not the same person. But if you do nothing, if you just say, here's my creation, do you love me? Some will and some won't. And some will take it and make off with it. So you want to be very clear on what you are offering when you share your creation. I'm retaining my autonomy. I am the creator and I am the authority. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so now when you look at it, when you look at the future of having a very successful story developed as a movie, what occurs to you? How much energy is in that beautiful future? Who do you become more of? What do you want that script to be? You don't have to say it right now, but to think about it.
Yeah, and maybe like at this point, I do see myself as one of the producers. And, like, I think the one thing I can do is I have no fear of raising the money. I feel like I have a finance background, and I don't want to produce the day to day, and I don't know how to produce the act, like once you actually go into production. But one of the biggest functions of a producer is the fundraising. And if I can raise the money, then I should have a lot of control and keep the authority of the project. And
Even if you don't do all of that, as the artist, as the creator, you want to be strong in your conviction. This is my creation.
mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, in like I've talked to people about it, like at the Sundance Film Festival and with producers, and they're like, there's only a couple writers that get to stay in control and have any creative say, like Stephen or Alan Sorkin or something, but you're not going to be one of them. And I'm like, but I think if I do the fundraising, then yes, I am. Like I can create it differently.
You can
And
create it differently, and you also are getting ideas of how, but don't don't put the two. What we're saying is get very, very clear that you are the authority, that you are the creator. Right now, you're getting feedback. No, you're not. No, you're not.
mhm,
But you want to clean that up.
mhm,
That illusion is just telling you that you're not centered enough, that you're not strong enough in your conviction. When you're strong enough in your conviction, oh yeah, of course, so and so's done it, and so has done it, and you just need to structure it a certain way. Does that make sense?
mhm,
So just allow the feedback to be feedback. But as you said, no, I'm gonna do it differently.
mhm,
And
mhm,
and I'm going to be successful with it.
mhm.
But not because somebody's gonna threaten to take it from you. That's the old script. You could create it that way. You could verify that the past is more powerful than you are. But as you work with that optimal future self, already it's different. As you stand in who you are becoming and what is the relevance, what is the gift that you give yourself and the world by standing in your authority. owning your creation, knowing you are loved. You're not doing this so that you get love from others. You will get love, but that's not why you're doing it. You're creating it because you see, I can make a difference with this. It's a way for me to give graciously. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Very different energy than, do you love me? I did this wonderful thing. Do you love me? That's the child. That's the adolescent. And so as you let them have what they want in their reality, then you can really truly stand in a place of empowerment where you know that you are writing the script of how all of this plays out. All right. We love you so.
Thank you, Tara.
All right. Always a pleasure. And who is next?
Mary. You got it.
Hi, Tara.
Yes, dear one. Where do we begin?
A while back, you told me that I was connecting with my truer self and in one of the practices that I've been doing. And that has led to a really intriguing, fascinating, fertile period of time since then. And it's brought up more questions. So could you speak about our truer self and in particular, well, our truer self and its its relationship to our soul?
Yes, absolutely. So the true self is so who you are being when you are feeling connected, when you are creating reality in accordance and compliance with your will. That is you the more. Beyond you the more, as you also add in a conscious connection to soul, activating spirit, now the true self emerges. The knowing that you are eternal, the knowing that you are loved, that you have worth that is given, opening to that triangle of divinity more consciously by connecting with soul, the soul that is your reason for existence, that is the you that is eternal, activates within you a conscious knowing that is who I am. And the voice of your true self is knowing that you are connected, an expression of soul, and that you are in the physical plane. You see, your consciousness in the physical plane is relevant, is important, isn't left behind when you connect with soul. Your soul feels joy when you are consciously manifesting. They are automatically manifesting your reality. As you participate, as you connect more consciously, as you open to beyond all the reasons why you exist, and you open to, I just am, I exist, I am. And in that, there is magic. There is no time. You are not limited by time or space. It is as though for that instant, you go beyond all of that. And then in that place of inspiration, in that place of imagining, in that place of connection, you really understand this is all for fun. This is an exploration. And you get to say what it's about. And then when you come back into the physical plane, into you the more, in that resonance, suddenly you get ideas of what you can do, what you can make, what you can create, where you want to make adjustments, things you want to end. as you did today in the meditation, those choices were being made by you as consciousness, and yet in the presence of higher self, and then in the presence of the goddess. You began to open to, oh, what if I dreamed an entirely new reality? What would that be? What would that mean about me if I can change my reality just by imagining something brand new? Not to fix what is so. What is so is what is. It's an expression of the raw materials. It's an expression of what's so right now. But as you get that the future isn't limited by what's so right now, the future can be any possibility. And the true self is aware of that. And when you allow yourself to take those steps, first opening to the conscious you, the consciousness that is you, the triangle of humanity is acknowledging your self-confidence, your self-esteem, your self-respect, and then opening to your divinity through self-awareness. Self-awareness is a gift from God, Goddess. Asking yourself, who am I really? Opening that triangle of divinity, sensing the worth that is given, bringing in that unconditional love, really knowing you are loved. Not for what you do, not for any certain self-expression. You just are loved. And that opens you now to your soul. And the faces of soul that we've spoken of are automatically, they're infusions of soul energy, the purity, the essence of you, predetermined before you come into the lifetime. But you can go to soul anytime to sit with soul, to receive energy, to receive truths, higher truths, to connect with the divinity that you are, the eternity that you are. And when you do that, something magical happens. You become aware that you are something even more than the consciousness that you are, that you are eternal. And once you get that, there is nothing to fix. There's nothing wrong. There's only, what do I want to create and experience next? So there is a freedom in that. And there's a safety as well, which many of you seek, safety and freedom constantly. Am I free enough? No. I need more freedom. Am I safe enough? No, I need more safety. So you flip-flop between those two and think you are growing. But you are actually growing when you have understood, I am safe enough. I am free to be. And now your soul can get in there and commune and actually infuse you with new energy and respond to that urge to grow that you have. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you, Tara.
That's
I think you said in the meditation tonight your voice got low, so I'm not sure, but I think you actually mentioned our truer self in the meditation. Did you?
It is possible.
I'll have to go back and listen.
Meditation is your experience.
Also, I was getting confused because from there's two practices that they hold differently, and they seem to hold soul as like being lesser. And I was really getting confused. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And
Yes,
maybe
well,
more questions
so
next week.
just from what we experience of you as soul, your soul is eternal. Your soul is the purity of consciousness that is God and Goddess. You, as a unique stream expression of God and Goddess, is soul. that energy flows through you and everything. It flows through your higher self and all the higher selves of your higher self. Flows as a pure energy that never breaks, never changes, cannot be diminished. And it flows through you into all of creation. So anything you interact with in the physical plane has the essence of your soul. There's an opportunity to commune with soul in physicality when you get quiet, when you listen, when you're open. Does that help?
Yes. I may have more questions in a week or two, but yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So,
Love you.
all right, John, who is next?
Henry.
Hello, Tara. Wonderful to be with you again,
Yeah,
and again, and again. Um,
absolutely. Where do we begin?
um, I feel I'm kind of bottoming out today after the weekend's.
Yes, there are those cadences where you expand so much, whether you're conscious of it or not. You gather a lot of energy over the weekend. And now, okay, what do I do with it? And so we encourage you to be first.
Right.
Be, remember, review some of the processes so that you understand at a more conscious level. Oh, I gathered a lot of energy. I don't know much beyond that yet. Now it's for my higher self and me to explore the physical plane to see what is changing. What meaning does it make that then translates into physical form, into experiences in the physical plane? What's coming at me? What am I generating? What am I inspired to be or do or have? So each of you have your own cadence around integrating the energies. And sometimes that just requires being quiet and not trying to make it. But I gotta go, I gotta get this done over here. I gotta get that done over. Yeah, and you'll get them done. But don't put the meaning, trying to get to the final meaning of the workshop. Let it unfold. The energies of the equinox flow into you and through you for 3 months until the solstice. And so as you will just give you a clue though, what you can be working on is defining that new image. So we brought a little bit of that into the conversation today to understand, oh, in these next 3 months, it's for me to imagine what would it be to be a new level of magician, fully awake, co-creating reality. And judgments will come up. Well, I'm not that great of a magician as it is. How am I going to get there? I'm not even done with the first part. Perhaps. Others, well, I'm pretty good at manifesting. I don't know if I want to change anything. But what I'm doing is working. If I add something more complex to it, is that going to screw me up? Am I going to fail? Am I going to be uncertain? So you see different topics depending on who you are and what your environment is. But to choose the new image, you don't have to reference who you currently believe yourself to be. You just get to image something new, imagine something new for yourself. Who is Henry in all his glory? soul activated, aligned, connected. It's going to be easiest to see that when you are perhaps performing a work or when you are connecting with people as you do with the creative people, helping them see the beauty in themselves. And that's where you begin. You begin where it makes sense, but then expand it. What if I'm this more than just those few times a week, which are glorious in themselves? I want more, but I don't want to do the same thing, but I want that resonance in more of my life. What would that mean about Henry? Who would Henry be if you were to ask others, who's Henry? What's important about knowing Henry? You can write that script out and have it be the way you want it to be. Well, I want them to know that I prioritize love and creativity and passion over all else. And that I'm here to do things differently, that I'm a map maker. So I'm creating maps around creativity and living life with more elegance and ease. Does that help?
Well, yes, it helps to put in perspective. I mean, I had a lot of connection over the weekend. I did some acting, which I really enjoyed doing, and there was a festival here, and I met some British people, and stayed up until 3 in the morning doing nothing much but kind of wandering around. But and um, and also then the day after, eventually when I get into the day, I also met some other new people late last night. People I'd seen around, but somebody was having a birthday party, and while I was connecting, I was very everything was working, and all, and and people. I mean, I was understanding what I was giving to them, and and then I kind of completely bottom out of that and think, when it goes away, that but it's what's the point? And I don't know what I want. The I blanked during one opportunity to talk with you, and I understand what that's about. If I don't know the answer, I tend to move out. With some of these um, uh, people on Saturday, I had a blanking moment, and it kind of was scary, although I mean, it just feels that so much is grinding, grinding away. I mean, it's a very intense weekend, wasn't it? And and then it seems to come down to again, our last chat was about the wounding and what I need to get back, and it's all about asking for what I want and then knowing what I want, and again, talking about what we're putting into this equinox about what I want, just finding it difficult to open up to it, just seems to kind of close down, and at the same time, I can imagine what it's like to be a future self that can just think, I want this to happen, and I want that to happen, because I do, I have done that in my life, in kind of in the earlier days of Lazarus. I did it very dramatically, and it scared me for years. that I did some 33-second techniques and major things happened. I got booked for directing job in England, even though I'm still here, and a wonderful show and wonderful and other wonderful things. And actually, I'm just remembering that now, that just how that scared me. um, Although I enjoyed it at the time, but and I think in some ways it relates to again what I want. I don't know why it's so. I mean, I suppose everything's at a turning point at the moment. Why it just I feel I just kind of sit down and I just can't think things through. I just thinking, well, I can do that, and then today eventually I thought, well, I need to go and get my free food, and I need to go and do that, and then I was thinking, well, also I want this image of me from the future, and that's not helping me do that. But then if I don't do that, where am I going to get food from? And then, well, I can, magic, and create a lifetime. This it's a kind of tussle to try and damp it all down, be the lesser self and not have any um, kind of challenges in that way. But it's so much. It just feels as if it's just going to slide away, and
So, certainly so.
hmm.
Matters of survival, they need to be addressed first. And you have
Yes.
you have created creatively solutions that work for you in the way that your life runs. So you have your needs met. Is it tenuous? Sometimes. Have you been handling it? Yes, you have. Is there more that you want out of reality? Yes.
Yeah, much more.
And to your credit, you are out there exploring, and you are working in different residences, seeing, if I'm in this residence, how does it go? If I'm in this residence, what happens? So as you let yourself know that you have been exploring resonance, and now as you fine tune that skill, reality is working better. It doesn't answer some of the basic things like, well, I've created getting free food, and that works really well, and it's easy to do. I just go there on this day and this time and go pick it up. And don't get caught in judging yourself
Yeah.
that you haven't created it differently yet.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, but I can see the me that has a different reality. Beautiful. That's the work. A lot of people have a hard time getting any sense of who they are in the future other than, well, I just know I feel better. I'm more at peace. But you, with your imagination, you're creating that map for others. I can see myself. I have a different reality. Now I just have to give my higher self and that me permission to have more impact, to work the magic, to change the fabric so that when I wake up into it, my life is changing. Suddenly, things I thought weren't working, I get an idea of how it can work. Things that I've been struggling with, suddenly the solution comes. So at this point, when you look at your general life, how you live it, what you're focused on, how you spend your time, as you become more attuned to, this has served me really well. This form isn't exactly as I want it, but these components of what I've created are good, have served me. I can feel grateful for those things. And now I can take that gratitude and I can generate a different reality. Because now you know what you want to take with you into the next version. And then all the other stuff that doesn't quite work or you're not real happy about, that doesn't have to be a focus. A lot of you will pause changing if you don't know that where you're heading allow you to have all the good you've created so far. So we want to reassure you, you have a choice about that. You get to bring the good stuff with you. And knowing that, what happens? There should be less fear in the future because there is some semblance at this point of familiarity. You will get to the point where you will dream new dreams and create new realities that are completely different from what you have. But there, right now, there's still the bridge. The lesser self has to come along. The lesser self is the embodiment of your child and your adolescent and the reasons why not, why we don't want to move forward, or why we want to do things a certain way, or why we want to stay limited instead of expansive. You, the more, is the you connected to the future and to your higher self. And to soul, of course. You, the more, has the solutions, not the lesser self. But you, the more, also knows that you have to take the lesser self with you. You can't just say, I've changed and I don't need you anymore. No, your child and your adolescent have to evolve to be positive expressions also. And when they are given what they want in their reality, when they are allowed to be who they truly are, as Mary was talking about, what's the true self? Well, if you begin by seeing your child in the beauty of the innocence and the automatic love that is there, a child is so willing to be loved. They don't know not to love until they have a situation where it's withheld from them or where they're shamed for being too expressive. But when they are allowed to be free to be, they are playful, they are creative, they're imaginative, they are magical, and they are innocent. And in that innocence is a wonder, is a joy, is a connection to all that is, that you need as well. So as you allow it in your inner child, in their reality, you restore it in yours. And so it's important to check in and see, am I fearful? Am I limiting myself? Am I depressed? Am I disappointed? Am I wanting someone else to tell me that I'm worth loving? If I am, then I'm in my child or my adolescent. The spiritual adult knows they have worth that is given and they are loved. The spiritual adult is here to have impact. And so those of you who have shied away from having impact, for whatever reason, probably very good reasons, but those reasons are no longer relevant because the past doesn't dictate your future. You can dream a new future where you get to have positive impact. and positive consequences. And as the authority, as the author of your reality, it is for you to write a new script. If you have one like Helen has had, but, well, I have no trouble creating something new or creating a success. I just have trouble not being betrayed, having it stripped away from me, stolen. That's a script. She can now see, oh, okay, I don't have to write that on the next one. I don't exactly know how I'm not going to write it yet, but I've done enough work on the other incidences. I know them inside out. I can tell them as though they're happening right now. I know them that well. I know myself that well. And as she takes all that power from the illusion back into herself, just recalls it back into her. I'm just pulling all my energy from all those incidences, all those stories, all those happenings, and recalling it back into me so that I can create something brand new without regard for those past. Because I'm not here to get my mother's love anymore. I have love in my life. I'm not here to please an authority, a mentor, a boss, whoever, in the hopes that they will finally let me know that I'm enough. Because in the chauvinism, you couldn't just let yourself know. You had to wait for someone else. Some invisible authority. Or not so invisible. And you never got the acknowledgement that you deserved. Never got the attention you needed. The validation never came. But in retrospect, in the chauvinism, do you want to continue a pattern of needing to go outside yourself to be validated? When instead you could be, as you do now, go express yourself and have it be a joy and get feedback. Wow, that was really amazing. That had a wonderful impact on me. I recognize something in myself now. Very different than needing to perform to be told, hey, Henry, you're okay. You're good enough. You're worth loving. Now, people might still tell you that, but when you don't need them to tell you that because you are whole and complete within yourself and you are in your spiritual adult, it becomes about what fun are we going to create today? What positive impact do I want to have? And then go about your day and then notice, oh my gosh, my day went so well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The, well, out of what you were saying there, I was just remembering that, with the new people I met over the weekend, I was discussing kind of quite vital things with certain people, and they were saying how it helped to have a bigger picture of how reality works for them. And then I get really frightened, and I'm going to, and a couple of artists offered, there was a fair, and a couple of artists offered just to give me their painting, their small paintings, and I start to and say, well, yes, we'll meet up again, and that's what I've been wanting, to meet up with creative people and have more friends in that way. And then I get frightened that I'm just going to get kind of trapped as the just the receptor for their stuff, for other people's stuff.
And so are you writing a new script around that?
Well,
Because you could create it that way. If you have done so in the past, it would be familiar. If you haven't done it, but it's just a fear, then understand it's still just a script. It's an
yes,
And do you want to author a new one? What if I imagine a different outcome?
yeah,
What if I get to feel different feelings? What if there's
yeah,
a me that sets boundaries? What if there's a me that knows who I am and knows who they are, and every moment I have choice? Sometimes I need a little more time to think about it, and then I can say, hey, I need a little more time to think about whether I have time
yeah,
or bandwidth or whatever you want to call it these days. Does that make sense? It's a whole different person than the one who just always has to say yes and then
yes. I think
try and figure it out later all by yourself. Sounds like a lonely existence. So the Henry the Moor has boundaries, knows where he ends and others begin. As a peacemaker, this is an unusual concept. But a healthy spiritual adult has boundaries, knows that they have a choice to say yes or no, and that they can create the positive consequence either way. If you take hold of the painting, receive the gift they give, thank you very much. Yes, let's meet again. And have that next meeting be positive and not an obligation or a contract that says
yeah,
from now on you are owned by this person, you see.
yeah,
And so as you look to see, oh my gosh, I have a script. My fear is warning me that I have a script that doesn't end in the positive future that I'm envisioning.
yeah.
And I don't need to be afraid of the script. I just need to change it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I find it. Yes, I find it very difficult to imagine. I mean, of the artists, one of the artists just gave me the painting, and I don't have any connection with them. And I mean, we had a very good discussion before. And the other one, it was his birthday party in his house. Locals were going to, and that's when I started to feel, because he wanted to meet again, and yeah, I'd like to meet again, but and with others of his lot there, but I I did find it very difficult to imagine me being, yeah. I mean, what is it like when I know who I am, and when I always feel that if I say no to things, then that's the end of it. It's not going to go anywhere. And yet again, it comes back to the, you know, the relationship with my fairy friend, which was described in the Lazarus Magic Time, which was love for no reason at all. And but then I got, I dropped that, and my fairy friend is with me all the time, but I'm not really connected with her. Um,
And so as you sit back and look at Henry interacting with these people,
yeah,
why does that Henry think he needs to control outcomes? Why can't he change his mind or say yes this time but say no next time?
yeah,
What's in there that says that you have to be in control of the dialogue?
yeah,
For lack of a better word, there's more to it than
yeah, yeah,
don't put it just in the box called control. Oh, that's bad, and judge yourself for it. No, unravel it. What is that need to know how it's going to go in advance? And that's not the adult you. That's not the spiritual adult.
Mm.
It could be your child because it's not safe to not know. Could be the adolescent. Well, I don't want to be rejected. So you'll have to go dig a little bit. But as you recognize, wait a minute, I'm anticipating problems that haven't even happened. And I'm really good at it. What if I put all that creative energy into anticipating what can go right and what I want more of? Because it is creative energy, it is imagination, it is using your desire, imagination, and then false expectation or interrupted expectation. I'm just expressing myself, and then they want to reward me with a painting. Oh my God, I have to know what it means. Can't it just be a gift?
Yeah, no, I wasn't like that with
Now,
when it
maybe
was
it
happening.
wasn't a gift. Maybe there were all kinds of strings attached,
Hmm.
and you sense that. But then you could then you can say, "Oh, well, if you're just giving me a painting for me to have something beautiful, thank you very much. But if you're wanting something else out of this, please let me know." Except that's very confrontational. And
Well,
yet,
except, I mean,
honestly,
they
creates
gave the
a lot
reason.
more interaction. What were you saying?
Right. Well, I mean, yes, I mean, they gave the reason was that they wanted their work appreciated. You know, they felt that I would appreciate, that I was appreciating their work. I already was appreciating their work, and they liked that, and they wanted that to happen. So I can understand that.
And so why does it have to be more? What would be important about you extrapolating more than what is shared?
Um, well, although we're talking about the paintings, I hadn't really kind of thought of the paintings as being a grab in that way. I think I was just thinking of how I feel I let go of myself so easily with people when I start to get to know them, even though I can have very conscious. I mean, with the British people on Saturday, we were wandering around the big fair and all that sort of things, and I had to go off and do something, so I went off and did something. I said, well, we'll meet up a bit later, and then I missed that, and I realized I was kind of, I wanted to be with them, but at the same time I was kind of afraid of something, afraid of just kind of getting trapped or into doing things I didn't want to do, and so I went back and but later and I couldn't find them, and then I put out, well, let's find them, and then I found them. And, I was just seeing my resistance, and that happened several times, and it's
Wonderful. You're very self-aware. That's what
yes,
it looks like.
yeah.
And
I guess it's
then you get to say, do I want to be this going forward? What's good about being this way and what don't I like about it? What do I
yeah,
want to change about it, if anything? Or does it help me navigate my world?
yeah,
Don't assume it's bad, but you're becoming, after having expanded so much, certain things are so easy to see now. Oh my gosh, I'm afraid I'll get caught up in other people's stuff, or I don't want to be too intimate. not too quickly. I want to have time to learn, time to grow, time to measure. We're just giving you some ideas.
Yes. Well, the instant intimacy is important to me in that. I mean, that's what works with people. In that, I mean, I just tend to talking about their stuff, or I mean, their creative stuff, and it tends to turn into, things that are in the way, or problems they've had, or and where to go forward, and we can get very intimate and about those sort of things quite quickly, and then I suppose. And then on one hand, I think these people, I mean, the British people are going back to Britain, so I'm thinking well, then at the end of the evening, everything's gone. What worth was it, as it were? And I just feel more lonely again. But yes, I see. Yeah. Okay.
And so rather than sit in loneliness,
Yeah.
connect with those in your unseen realm when there's no people around, or connect with people who are around, so that because what's happening here is you're anticipating loneliness.
Yeah.
You're anticipating, well, what's the point? They're just going to go back to their lives and I might never see them again. Well, you might if you make an effort, but it would take an effort. And maybe
Yeah.
it would take too much of an effort. But as you just say, I don't have a choice, having the thought I don't have a choice, they're just going to go off without me. That thought has an emotion of loneliness tied to it.
Mm.
And isn't about writing the script, isn't about saying, well, how do I want it to go? Are these people that I want to stay connected to? And it's so much easier today. You don't even have to go to England to be connected. You have a phone.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So now as you sit back and go, oh, wait a minute, I don't have to think the thought that I'll never see them again, or what's the point? I'll never have much more with them. That negative future, or that future, it doesn't have to be negative, it can be just what's so, doesn't have to mean you're all alone. But it does mean you're all alone. And so you want to look at what is important to me around this feeling of loneliness. How often has this theme happened in my life? And do I want to continue this theme and this pattern of emotion and behavior that follows, or do I want to make some changes in how I expect things to go in relationships?
Mm.
And that would mean having to truly release and forgive. Forgive and release is probably the better order. Old hurts or old abandonments. Do I want to be done with that backdrop?
It seems to be about abandoning myself. Is what I fear.
Yeah, well, it seems that way, but actually, you the story includes others abandoning also. There is no singular abandonment.
Hmm.
It has a consequence. When I abandon myself, others also feel abandoned or go on because they realize I'm not available.
Oh, right.
So they go on without me. Oh, Henry, he's checked out. Oh, Henry, he's not in the building. Okay, we're just going to go keep doing what we're doing until he shows up again.
Yeah, I see.
So that there's that self-abandonment behavior has negative consequences. But there's also the conscious when you meet somebody and you decide right away, what's the point? It'll be too hard to keep any connection going. Or what's the point? They don't really care about me. They're not really interested in me. When you have those sorts of thoughts, that then leads to behaviors that are consistent with the decision not to have a relationship in the future. Now, we're not saying you have to be best friends with everybody you meet.
No.
It's only around the ones where you actually have the thought, wow, it'd be so fun to stay connected. Be fun to see you again. Be
Yeah.
fun to talk like this again.
Yeah.
Those moments, you want to stay in that optimism and in that love and say, oh, well, I don't know how at this point, other than exchange numbers or email, but we'll create it. We can work some magic.
Hmm.
See, that's a different thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then what's the point? I'm all alone. The other way of recognizing we can create a future where we connect magically. We can either plan something and be intentional about it, or we can just leave it to, well, when you come to LA or when I go to England, one day, someday, let's just stay connected. Let's chat, text, whatever,
Yeah.
WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So very different state of being, lighter hearted, more fun, more open
Yeah.
than the part where you go inside yourself and decide you're all alone, which is an old behavior. And it's a safe behavior, but it's not a productive, constructive behavior.
Yeah.
And it has absolutely nothing to do with creating the future you want.
Right. And to some extent, I'm having, it reflects in my relationship with my higher self and my unseen friends, and that I just feel uh, I just can't feel close to them.
And when you have that thought,
Yeah.
we want you to remember your higher self exists in a different resonance than you do.
Right.
And they cannot come down to your resonance.
Yeah.
So you have to lift up. You have to ask them to lift you up, or you have to lift yourself up. Go do something fun, laugh, be playful, whatever. Get your resonance higher so that you then, when you think, oh, I remember I have a higher self, my higher self's always with me. I'm not always aware of my higher self. And my level of awareness tells me what resonance I'm in. If I can't connect, then don't even think my higher self is all that real right now. I'm in a lower resonance. So just keep it sort of very factual, like, oh, it's a resonance thing. In a lower resonance, I don't sense my higher self, but if I lift up a little bit, my higher self suddenly becomes available as a thought, as a concept, as an idea. And if I raise a little bit more and I remember that my higher self loves me, then suddenly, oh, maybe I will connect with my higher self today. Maybe I will go sit in meditation and let my higher self participate in my day. But it takes getting up to a certain level of knowing you are loved to be inspired to connect, you see. And so that is the work. That is the efforting that has to happen. It's not automatic. You are automatically connected. Your higher self exists all around you all the time. Your soul flows through everything and into everything in your reality. But to be conscious of it, that's the map you're making, you see.
Yeah.
To have a relationship, a conscious relationship with the unseen is a map you're making. And when you disregard it, it just doesn't feel right. I feel like something's really wrong with me. Like my life isn't right. It has no purpose. It has no meaning
Yeah.
because you're not doing the efforting in line with who you are that are for your highest good and that you came in with a commitment to make a difference around. I actually decided to be here with purpose, to make maps around having a relationship with the unseen realm and having that translate into the physical. And many other maps as well, but that is one of them. Does that help?
Yes, I'm sure I can sit with my higher self and
Yes,
let it
eventually you can sit with higher self. And as you just let yourself know, okay, sometimes I'm pissed off. My higher self's not doing enough for me. My life's not working the way it should. And just get out a little bit of anger. And you'll feel a lot more intimate with higher self after that. Other times it really is just, I've just depressed myself to such a degree, I've numbed out
Yeah.
because I don't want to be disappointed or I don't want to feel scared. And that's why my higher self can't get through to me. So I need to do the efforting to remember my higher self exists. And then if I know my higher self exists, then I also know that my higher self can lift me out of this. But I have to ask.
Yes, and
A
what
bit of a conundrum because you came in saying, I want free will. Don't do anything I don't expressly ask for. And of course, you totally forget that when you become physical. And you're wondering, why is my higher self not making things happen? And so we remind you, ask them to help you.
Well, and I noticed, thinking that over the weekend, over the last few days, well, and actually more, that I do stop and say, well, or well, let's see what do I want, and ask my higher self and my optimal future self to bring, something in this way or that way or whatever, and I tend to think, oh well, I haven't asked right, or I haven't got enough resonance. And I've just been looking back and realizing that lots of things happened that were absolutely what I was asking for, and I kind of don't don't necessarily think that. I mean, quite often I'll wake up and say, wait a minute, this is what I was asking for. and and I was thinking, well, I had been thinking, well, that's not going to happen. But so it's really just, it's all about being more conscious about it, isn't it? And
It is. And some of it is that you realize, oh, I I did ask for it, then I forgot I asked for it.
yeah,
But here it is. And so then it's easy to say, oh, I've been so unconscious. But instead focus on, oh, that's wonderful that even though I sort of checked out, it still manifests.
yes, exactly.
So that's what to focus on. And so
Yeah,
part of it's really understanding yourself more and the nuances of your emotions and your thoughts and and choosing to create something new in spite of what you notice.
yeah,
Because this work of noticing what you notice is actually takes a lot of attention and energy. And then we tell you to just forget all of that and create something new. And yet you need to do both. You need the awareness of what's so right now and what's functioning and what is your illusion reflecting back to you. And then we don't want you to be so immersed in it, which is very easy to do because, well, it's supported by your beliefs. So it seems as though, well, this is all there is. But the map making is around choosing something new in spite of what's so right now.
Yeah.
And so to continue to evolve your consciousness and expand your universe and expand your experiences and all of that, it is who you are. And when you don't do that, you start thinking, what's the point? Why bother?
Yeah.
And so when you get that sort of ennui happening, that boredom,
Yeah.
that's your cue. Wait a minute, I must not be creating something new right now. I must not be imagining and wanting something new. I need to activate my tools of creation. All
Yeah.
right. On that note, we love you so, and thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you so much, Tara. I love you so much.
Yes, and we appreciate and feel your love. All right. And so to each and every one of you. Yes, John?
Now, Raina, did you? No, she's left.
Okay. All right. And so it is the time of equinox. Another day, another 24 hours in the energy. Make the most of it. Celebrate. Feel that energy uplift you. There's an elegance and an ease in this resonance. Be playful with it. Have fun with it. Ask for some things that you don't think you can get or that you don't have, but that you really want. Just put it out there and let the universe conspire with higher self and soul and spirit to present them to you. All right. And so we go for now. We go with love and peace as we bring Katharina back. Until next time.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.